Hi everyone. Welcome back to Unite Pieces channel, and today we are going to tell you about a drama, family, life movie, titled Beastly. This movie tells the story of a handsome, rich, and arrogant young man, who is cursed to be ugly, because he has hurt a woman who turns out to be a witch. This movie is basically a modern version of Beauty and the Beast. So, make sure you watch this video till the end, for a better experience. The movie opens by showing a handsome man named Kyle Kingson. Kyle is so popular in his school. Apart from his good looks, Kyle is also a rich man's son. His father, named Rob Kingson, works as a famous news anchor on national TV, so whatever Kyle wants is definitely granted. Plus Kyle is the only child in the family. But it's different with a girl named Linda Taylor, Kyle's schoolmate girl, who looks mediocre and not famous. Besides that, Linda also has to work on the side to finance her life, which is still in need. Even almost this year, Linda is saving just to pursue her dream, which is a vacation to a place called Machu Picchu. Then the scene switches to a woman named Kendra Hilferty. From her appearance we can tell that Kendra is not an ordinary girl, it looks more like a witch. Kendra is the only woman in school who hates Kyle, because besides being arrogant, Kyle often bullies those whose appearance is less attractive, but this time Kyle is dealing with the wrong person. One day, Kyle held a party at his house called Green Party, and Kendra was surprisingly invited to the event, but invited Kendra just so that Kyle could embarrass her. Kyle said that Kendra looked like a cow, and didn't deserve to be there. But since then Kyle could no longer enjoy the party. Kyle kept imagining Kendra's sharp gaze, and his head began to spin and his body was immediately wet with sweat. Kyle was immediately shocked when Kendra began to appear behind him suddenly, where Kendra had turned into a beautiful girl and was much different from before. With a hateful look in her eyes, Kendra began to touch Kyle's hand, and Kyle slowly turned into an ugly man. Kyle, who realized the change, was immediately shocked to death. Kendra explained that Kyle only had 1 year to be able to find a girl who really loved him, and if Kyle did not succeed, then the magic would never disappear and would forever be in Kyle's body. Starting from that day, Kyle really began to change, and became a very scary man. Of course, this situation made his father surprised and rushed to call a specialist to perform a skin transplant. But unfortunately this could not be fulfilled, considering that Kyle could die if the operation failed. Finally, Rob, the father, decides to move Kyle to a place of seclusion. There Kyle will be accompanied by an assistant named Zola. One day, his father sends a teacher to guide Kyle. This teacher is named Wilfredel. Although Will has lost his sight since the age of 15, Will actually feels grateful because his sense of hearing has become sharper. When night falls, Kyle decides to go to a Halloween event, where in this Halloween event people will not realize Kyle's physical form. Kyle immediately looks for Kendra, then begs for his magic to be removed immediately. Only Kendra instead says if Kyle's time is left 7 months, and Kyle must find a woman who loves him. Hearing this, Kyle looked upset, and immediately kicked whatever was next to him. In the event, Kyle coincidentally met Linda again. Here Linda did not realize that she was talking to Kyle because her physique was very different. Since making friends with Linda, slowly but surely over time Kyle began to accept his current state, where all his circumstances had turned 180 degrees, Kyle could only see Linda from a distance. The next night, Kyle again followed Linda relentlessly, but it turned out that Linda was busy looking for her father, who was apparently involved in a case with a loan shark. Seeing that, Kyle immediately came to the scene and tried to help, only the situation became even more complicated after Linda's father deliberately killed the loan shark. Immediately Linda also told her father to go as far away as possible from her, while Kyle, who had changed his name to Hunter, could only hide when Linda came, which led to the two of them not meeting for days. One morning, Kyle decided to leave the room and try to approach Linda again, but unfortunately the effort was unsuccessful, because now it was Linda who did not want to come out of her room and locked herself up, which of course made Kyle even more upset. As the days passed, it was seen that Kyle began to write love letters to Linda. In the letter Kyle told an idea that had recently crossed his head. Kyle intended to make a house on the roof, and fill the house with many flowers, where all this was done in order to attract Linda's attention. All of that Kyle did himself, even though it had to take time and energy. Until one day after the process was complete, Kyle brought Linda while blindfolded. Kyle began to dare to show his true self, after which Kyle removed Linda's blindfold, so that Linda would see her ugly self. Unexpectedly, Linda only replied that Kyle was not bad, Linda claimed to have seen a figure much worse than that. The next day, Kyle took Linda to the roof of the apartment where Kyle had built a flower house. As a result, Linda was immediately surprised and impressed. Linda could not believe that Kyle could make such a beautiful house. Then, Zola and Will pretended to be judges of the competition. They approached Kyle and Linda, and all this could happen because Kyle had previously asked them to help, so that Kyle looked cool in front of Linda's eyes. Indeed, because of that effort, the two of them are now getting closer. That closeness makes Kyle realize that he must immediately meet Kendra, and after meeting, Kyle immediately begged that the deadline could be extended, but still Kendra's answer did not change, where Kyle had to continue to pursue the remaining time. Long story short, Kyle took Linda to the zoo, where Kyle used to frequent with his father. They talked to each other all night, even until the sun rose again. Then when Linda fell asleep, Kyle expressed his feelings that Kyle really loved Linda. On the same day, Kyle also deliberately took Linda to the second place that was quite historic for her, but all of that had to be put on hold after Linda got a call from the hospital, which informed her that her father had just overdosed. Immediately, Kyle told Linda to meet her father as soon as possible, where Kyle had previously given a letter he had written, so that Linda could read it when she had time. As the days passed, Kyle felt that Linda still hadn't read the letter from him. It was indicated by the magic effect that was getting worse over time. Realizing that Kyle had no more time, Kyle ventured to appear in front of the crowd by showing his face. Kyle walked into the classroom door, and everyone looked so surprised to see his face. Kyle immediately approached Linda. To his surprise, unexpectedly, Linda was upset with Kyle, saying that if Kyle really felt in love, Kyle should be able to contact her more often. Here Kyle replied that at first he was very pessimistic, because Kyle thought that Linda would be afraid of him. But after a few months together, Kyle felt much more confident, and didn't even feel bad about himself at all. Hearing that answer, Linda immediately uncovered Kaylee's head, where she kissed him in front of many people. From here Linda immediately said the words "I love you" to Kyle. As a result, Kyle immediately went to the toilet to see his changes, where the words turned out to be successful in making Kyle free from his curse, but Linda still did not realize that the man she loved was Kyle. Fortunately, there is still one thing that can make Linda believe in Kyle, which is none other than Kyle's voice. They finally establish a relationship and accept each other's shortcomings. They live happily, and that's how the movie ends. From this movie we can learn not to feel above the sky with everything we have, because all that can change in a moment if we destroy other people's happiness with what we say. Be grateful for life, and be able to accept any shortcomings. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.